hao! As you can see in this video, we will be starting our next language, Chinese. Chinese is a really interesting language. Its popularity has definitely been growing in the States, and people are starting to recognize it more and more. And it's really a beautiful language. So I'm really excited to start with Chinese. What we'll do in this video, as usual, we'll go through the background and history of Chinese, its influence with English. Its influence on English, actually. Just a quick background in history, and then we'll take a look at 10 sample words from Chinese along with their definitions, and just sort of get a sense of what Chinese words are like. Alright, so let's start with the background in history. First of all, Chinese is a very old language. It's been around for a really long time. So it's definitely not like a new language. Of course, Chinese civilization was, one of the first, so it's long time. And an approximation would be it's probably 5,000 years old. The actual language, 5,000 years old, which is really old. Compared to Latin and Greek, that's way more. So ancient Chinese, very, very old, possibly, maybe one of the oldest. Sanskrit is definitely as old, or if not older, but again, this is one of the oldest languages in the world. Okay, so long time, 5,000 years, so lots of words. However, not really words. Chinese, as you probably know, utilizes characters. Sort of unlike most other languages we have today, characters instead of actual letters or words, and each character symbolizes something, which it tries to convey. So characters are used. However, when Chinese words have been brought into English, they have been directly translated into our letter system. So there is a direct translation. Direct translation. And basically the letters, the English letters with Chinese words are formed from, it's basically called pinyin. And that's what, children in schools here learn. They learn the pinyin along with the characters to help them get a sense of the spellings with using our alphabet. So because they've been directly translated, a lot of Chinese words are pretty simple, which is very good for us. Chinese is definitely not one of the trickier languages like Dutch. Chinese is pretty simple. It might not be as symmetric and easy as Japanese, which we've already done, but it's still good. Like it's not really difficult. Japanese is very orderly and systematic. The words are Chinese. There are a few exceptions here and there, so let's write that down. There's a few exceptions, and sometimes there's usually more than a way to spell a certain sound, but in general, it's not bad at all. One of those very easier languages. Also, it hasn't really contributed a lot to English in terms of words compared to other languages like the Romance languages, so it's not very major contributor to English. Not major contributor to English. It's starting to be more now, because now, the sense of culture and awareness is growing, but, before, it wasn't a really major contributor to English. But another thing is that Chinese words are not very common at spelling bees. In spelling bees, they are definitely, very, very good words. But, it's not as common as the Romance languages, or perhaps Japanese or Dutch. Chinese words are not very common, but they do show up. So it's important that we learn the rules and patterns of this language. Alright, so this is just a brief background of Chinese. As you'll see, a lot of words do follow the pattern. Some don't, but usually there are very few, and we'll be going through each one of those as we take a look at them. So let's start with our 10 words from Chinese. And just to mention that Chinese is one of these languages that usually won't have sort of other languages contributing to its word's origins. Usually if a word is from French, it'll say French from Latin, or some words will be French from Italian from Latin. They come from so many languages, or perhaps German from Dutch, from Yiddish. Like lots of words have that. Chinese is a very exclusive language. I think it's fair to say that the Chinese society really valued their language, and it wasn't really opened up, I guess, with trade for words with other languages. So usually, if a Chinese word, its origin will simply just be Chinese with no other language, because Chinese words are pretty exclusively Chinese. All right, so let's take a look at our words. So number 1 is wushu, wushu, W-U-S-H-U, and wushu basically is Chinese martial arts. Okay, wushu, pronounced wushu, just as you'd expect. Okay, let's change the colors here to keep it interesting. Word number 2 is Qingma, Qingma, C-H-I-N, let me go back and fix this I, C-H-I-N-G-M-A, Qingma, and basically it's a type of fiber. It's also known as Chinese jute, so Qingma. Okay, word number 3 is Haizai, Haizai, H-A-I-T-S-A-I, Haizai. Basically, it's a substance that comes from red algae. It's Haizai. Alright, word number 4 is Pidan, Pidan, P-I-D-A-N, Pidan, and it's basically duck eggs, duck eggs. Okay, Pidan. And word number 5 is, we'll try to fit it in here, Yamen, Yamen, Y-A-M-E-N, Yamen, and basically it means headquarters, like of a bureaucratic place, so headquarters or office or court, so that's a yamen. Alright, let's move on through word number 6 right here. Word number 6 is, it's pronounced dujun, dujun, and its spelling is a little bit funky. It's T-U-C-H-U-N. And there's a couple of Chinese rules incorporated into this word, and we'll definitely look at those when we revisit these words in a couple of videos. But it's pronounced dujun. Let me write the pronunciation here maybe to help you. D-U with 2 dots, and then the accent is the same, J, and then the U and the E together with a line over it, which makes a really special sound. It's like U. It's kind of hard to say, but then N. So this is pronounced dujun, but that's how it's spelled. Okay, so let me just erase the diacritic. You can always pause the video and you know, take things a little bit more slowly if you need to. Okay, so the word is dujun. Word number 7. It's pronounced subgum. Subgum. It's spelled just as you would think it is. Subgum. S-U-B-G-U-M. It doesn't have to do with gum, but it's a dish, a Chinese dish, and it's like made with vegetables, peppers, water chestnuts, and mushrooms. So that's subgum. Okay, word number 8. Word number 8 is paktong. Paktong. P-A-K-T-O-N-G. Paktong is basically an alloy resembling nickel silver. It's made from nickel and zinc and copper. And in Chinese, actually, pak means white and tong means copper. They're not spelled P-A-K and T-O-N-G. It's a little bit different. Let me just pull it up so you can see how the Chinese spelling is different. So let's see. Paktong. See, we have Cantonese, which is, you know, comes from a place in China, as you can see, from Canton, China. It comes from P-A-A-K meaning white and T-U-N-G meaning copper. But the word is paktong. Also, there's a variant, pakfong, which has a C-K, but we're just going to focus on this word, paktong. So yeah, you can see how that word has been anglicized. So paktong, and then word number 9. We've got a nice sort of rainbow spectrum going on. 9 is mahuang. Mahuang. It's M-A-H-U-A-N-G. Mahuang. And it's a kind of plant. Okay, so that's mahuang. And finally, word number 10. Let's make it a little bit different color so it doesn't look almost the same. There we go. Word number 10. Oh, I like this color. Word number 10 is, okay, this is a really interesting word. It's pronounced shin, like your shin bone. It's pronounced shin, but it's spelled H-S-I-N. Okay, that's shin. This also has a very nice Chinese sort of tip incorporated in the word, and we'll definitely take a look at that later, of why are the H and S reversed when you'd think it'd be something else. We'll definitely talk about that in the later videos. But shin is basically a virtue of faithfulness and sort of truthfulness in Confucianism, which is a big so popular ideology in China. So it's basically a virtue of faithfulness. Okay, so it's a good word, and it's pronounced shin. Okay, so these are our 10 words: wushu, qingma, haitsai, pidan, yamen, dujun, sabgum, taktong, mahuang, and shin. You can sort of get a feeling for how Chinese words are. Definitely go through and notice some patterns if you can. See, I already see a lot of words ending in the letter G, NG specifically. That's something we'll talk about. See, we have an NG, NG, maybe two. Also, words ending in N and M, which we already know N ends a lot of Japanese words. Maybe that's a similarity. Here's another N. And also, a couple more N's. And also the vowel endings. Okay, so that's something else that Japanese has, which might be a feature of Chinese. Stay tuned to find out. Just go ahead and notice these sort of patterns. See if you can figure out any rules, or sort of try to see if you can notice any patterns or rules just from these 10 words. And in the next couple of videos, we will take a look at these rules, and pretty soon we'll come back to these 10 words and use those rules to see how they're applied in these Chinese words. Thank you.